Hello, everybody. So, as we all know, what was this past week? It was the Super Bowl. And was this a great Super Bowl? Whether you were watching the Super Bowl for the actual Super Bowl or for the halftime show, I don't know each individual out here. I don't know what your purpose for watching it is, but I hope it was for the halftime show personally, because the game itself, let me tell you, was nothing too extravagant. I honestly watched like 99% of it, and I didn't enjoy much of that experience till the fourth quarter. But anyways, that is not what we are here to talk about. We're not here to talk about Drake Maye's like 200 yards he put up in the fourth quarter that made his stats look good, even though he performed terrible the whole entire game. We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the halftime show featuring Bad Bunny as the main artist. 31-year-old Puerto Rican rap, pop type of artist, R&B influence, just all of that. He's been in the scene since 2013 now, releasing multiple different albums, with his last album winning him a Grammy, which was currently, I think, a week from today, or around a week from today, like right around that area. And he comes off of winning a Grammy and he goes and performs at the Super Bowl like a week or less than a week later. Now, if that isn't winning alone right there, I don't know what is. So there's been a lot of controversy over the past week after this halftime performance by Bad Bunny. And I have seen the ups and downs, the highs and lows of every single argument, every single just hateful thing, every single loving thing, just all of that in one. And this last week has just flooded my For You page, both TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, with a bunch of commentary giving people's voices and opinions on this halftime show. I swear there's been more talk about this halftime show than there was about the actual Super Bowl, which is honestly valid in my opinion. But we are going to get to, is the Bad Bunny halftime performance at the Super Bowl really that bad? Now, I think in reality, I've heard more hate than love when it comes to the subject of this. But I personally, well, here, let's go back to the very beginning. So it was back in, I don't know what month, but when it finally got shown who the artist was going to be at the Super Bowl halftime show, when it finally got revealed, I heard it was Bad Bunny, a Spanish-speaking rapper, pop artist. And I sat there in my chair downstairs in my kitchen, and I was just like, well, I'm not watching the halftime show. Now, am I a bad person for saying that? Probably partially. But the main thing is like, I didn't want to listen to a Spanish artist when I have absolutely zero background in Spanish. I took a 7th grade Spanish class, and that was about it. 7th or 8th grade, whatever the heck it was. Anyways, I basically learned jack crap in that because I have zero memory of it. The only thing I know is like uno, dos, tres. That is like the 3 words I know in Spanish. So I didn't understand jack all what Bad Bunny was saying during the concert. I will not lie to you right there, but does that mean my opinion is completely out the window? I'll let you decide that, but personally, I don't believe that is the case. There can still be a plenty of enjoyment out of it. And yeah, so I was just really not excited for that. I was really not excited for that. I think I went and sent a bunch of stuff to my friends saying like, oh, this isn't going to be great. This is not going to be what I want to listen to or watch or anything, right? Well, then a week before came, and then I started to think more about the Bad Bunny concert. So there's multiple months in this time period, but when it actually came around to like a week before the Super Bowl, I was kind of like intrigued at what I was gonna be watching. I wasn't jumping straight to hate anymore. I wasn't like, oh, this is gonna be absolutely horrendous. I was like actually intrigued on what I was gonna witness and if it was gonna actually be good or if it was gonna live up to the not very good, which I thought. And Super Bowl halftime show came around, and there was just constant complaining about it when it would finally show up before, and like everyone was just hating on it. Well, then it actually came, and he started doing all the stuff he was doing, running around all the trees, the freaking bushes, and all that stuff. I mean, I personally found a lot of enjoyment out of this halftime show. And he brings in all the flags at one point and starts celebrating like the different countries and shouting out a bunch of different countries. And I feel like lots of Americans are going to be like, oh, well, we're an American society, we're in the USA, we don't need to care about all these other countries and stuff. But I think showing respect for other countries shows our greater love. I think love is just so important to show when you're a popular figure. And I feel like that's lacking a lot in our culture in our day and age. So Bad Bunny showing a lot of love for just all people and people in other countries is something that we needed to see. So the one thing is America actually owns Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico is basically, I mean, it's not an American state, but it's essentially in that ballpark. So saying Bad Bunny isn't an American citizen is ridiculous in my opinion. But back with the countries and all of that, he showed love for all the countries. He showed a great love for the USA, which I feel like people just looked over and immediately jumped to hate on that. Like, dude, I just don't know. There was so much love in this Super Bowl. In the back, it said the only thing stronger than hate is love. Do people just not see that? That means so much to me that he's even putting that out there. Showing love as a celebrity, as a huge figure in society does not happen, does not genuinely happen. Like, you can be like, oh, I love my fans and all that stuff, but you don't just usually show a great, like, importance for just love in general, which he did in this Super Bowl halftime show, and I really think that's important. But we're gonna go past that. Now we're gonna talk about, he brought in so much, like, other culture into the Super Bowl, which I think is another thing people did not like. There's a bunch of different showcases in the whole entire thing. There's even a marriage going on, which is more love and more cultural stuff. It's fantastic. Supposedly that was actually a real marriage. I don't know if I'm tripping on that or not. I heard that somewhere. That BS? I don't know. But if that was actually a real wedding, that is freaking bizarre. But anyways, there's also the part with all the ladies throwing their buttocks and stuff. And people were also like, oh, what the heck? Wow, I want to see this. I want to see this. Or they're like, yeah, well, I want to see this. That can't really be controversial because we saw Shakira doing that multiple times, however many, like, within the last, like, 5-10 years. And you can't even hate on the guy for that. And it wasn't even him actually doing it. But then he also brings in Lady Gaga, which was a great addition in my opinion. I thought that was extremely entertaining. The one thing with Lady Gaga is at first I didn't even know it was her, dude, because literally at the Grammys a week prior, she was so much makeup on and she cut off like half that makeup and I couldn't even tell who she was anymore because she just looks different every single time I see her, which doesn't make me love her any less or love her music any less or love her as a figure any less. I mean, I freaking love Lady Gaga to death. But it's hard for me to tell, man. It's simply hard for me to tell, but she did a great job. I don't remember exactly everything she's saying, but I know she's saying Die With A Smile, at least her part in it, which was fantastic. That's when I started knowing it was hers, obviously, when she started singing that. But let's get back to Bad Bunny. So he runs around the whole entire thing. There was that pre-recorded scene, I believe, that it was shown where he falls through the roof and is in that room. And people are like making that a controversial thing. Like, oh, pre-recorded, this is it is seriously not that deep or that big of a deal to have a slight less than 5-second clip that is pre-recorded, especially since it looked really good on TV, in my opinion. I just thought it looked, I don't know, it was filmed super duper good. The quality was extremely good and it just looked cool. Like, I don't understand. And it's showing like a family watching the Super Bowl as he falls, and I just freaking, it's cool, dude. And he runs around with a football half the time. I mean, I know he's obviously probably not an athlete and he obviously doesn't play football, so people are going to hate on him for that too. But I mean, and then on the football, it says something about love on it, and he showed the camera. It's just like, it was a quick 10 to 15 minute halftime show, and he showed both so much love. His singing was phenomenal. He had good there was a bunch of featured people inside of the random crowd of people he had, which was also really, really cool. I think, yeah, the stage itself was designed really, really interesting, like different than what we've seen in the past. Man. In my opinion, this was a fantastic halftime show. For all of those reasons I named, I just think people are so quick to jump to hate on whether it being people of other cultures, people that aren't American, like people just jumping to that conclusion that people aren't an American citizen and all of that. But there's just so much hate there. Like, I totally get you couldn't understand 90% to 100% of the halftime show what he's singing and all of that, but music isn't always just the lyrics and what you are exactly comprehending. It is what you are hearing and listening to and how it makes you feel. That is what music is for and what it is. So could you sit there for 10 to 15 minutes and just listen to the Spanish that he's speaking and singing and rapping and all of that? It honestly sounds good. Anyways, it's just like people are so quick to jump to hate. I'm not saying you absolutely had to love this and I don't like you as a person if you didn't love this. I mean, it's completely valid if you didn't love it, but I'm just saying my side of the story where I think there was a lot to get out of this Super Bowl halftime show, not the Super Bowl itself. And I don't know, I can't wait to see where they go with the Super Bowl next year. It's controversial every single year, let's be real. So even if it is another random artist that people don't want to see in there, people are going to want them and people aren't gonna want him either. It's like, who is it last year? Was Kendrick Lamar last year? Yeah, which I absolutely love, and I know I could name 10 people off my hands right now who hated that. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime show. If you didn't, I hope this kind of changed your view a little bit and you can understand why people did like it and why you should maybe perceive it in a way where you could start liking it. But this was the Joe Gerton. This was talking about the halftime show. Bad Bunny, Keep up what you're doing. You're a fantastic artist. I love you, my boy. And share the love. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.